This is where it all happens. Right here.
It always looks different than you'd imagine, right? So I just finished shooting for a, let's call it, drum channel. Oh yeah, did he play Enter Sandman on this?
He did.
Oh snap.
Yeah.
It was great. I was flattered. I'm making a whole video on how I managed to get the opportunity to shoot there and what it was like. By the way, I'm repping them every chance I get. Some people wear their Harvard t-shirts at the gym. I wear my drum channel t-shirt. And you'd think that would be enough. You'd think the old ego would be able to rest on its laurels a little and say, we've done it, let's relax. But before I went to town for that drum shoot, I shot a little email to a local drum shop about doing a clinic there. I thought it would be nice, a fun challenge. One of my goals is to do more live events, so I tried to set something up. Anyway, something called Omicron flared up.
Europe is preparing for an even bigger wave of new infections of COVID-19.
Everybody was freaking out. Nobody was sure if there'd be indoor events anymore, let alone drum clinics. Then when I got to Vancouver, I was super busy recording. So we just did one video before lunch. We're about a third of the way. Whoa, hello. The next one. Working. Suffice it to say, I forgot that little email I'd sent all those months ago. And the fact that it had gone completely unanswered. Forgot, that is, until I saw that a drummer who I'm a huge fan of, who was shooting at that drum channel a couple weeks after me, apparently got a reply. Because they were putting on a clinic at that very drum shop. And for about 30 seconds, I allowed myself to feel spurned, rejected, and jealous. Why? Then I came back to earth and arrived at the opinion I'm going to advocate for in this video. Good damn thing they rejected me. They should! More on this in a second, but let's just roll the channel theme, otherwise we'll never get around to it. So dudes, today's video is brought to you by me, the 80/20 drummer. And today I'm kind of doing a rant about something, but in most of my videos I'm showing you how to drum. And if you've been following the channel for a hot second and you've watched one or two of those videos, maybe it's helped you and maybe you think you're ready to study with me. I recommend my product, the 80/20 coaching course, which is like 3 to 6 months of studying with me, all for around the price of a single lesson. But we only open it a few times a year, and we only open it to people on my exclusive list. To get on that list, it's completely free to be on the list. Click the link below the player, enter your email address in on the next page, and I'll send you a free gift just for joining. My free 3-video mini course. All right, sponsor message over. Gatekeepers. The name still creates a funny metallic taste in my mouth. And I get comments on my channel all the time decrying gatekeepers. Who are you to decide who's better and who's worse? There's no such thing as good and bad in music. That kind of thing. Okay, where do we go here? The gatekeepers. Got it. The clinic is just the latest instance of me being on the wrong side of gatekeeping. In the years I was gigging a lot, I wanted to be gigging more. But there was this problem. In order to play gigs, you either had to wait for the phone to ring or field your own band. And in order to get people to the gig, and this is back in the 2000s, you needed to have name players in your band. In order to have those name players, you needed a venue worthy of their time. And a decent crowd, because otherwise, look, you call somebody famous to play, you pay them out of your own pocket. Then you play them for 3 people in the middle of the afternoon in a shopping center food court. Look, there's a reason Puppet Show and Spinal Tap was a joke. So you get this massive chicken egg problem where you have to appease the venues to get the musicians so you can get the gigs. And that means hours hanging at these venues trying to get in good with the people who book stuff. But then everybody else is doing it too. And sometimes the talent coordinators use that as a way to get people to their own gigs. Because why not? Hey, I'm really interested in your band and want to talk to you about booking you here. Tell you what, stop by Friday night. I'll be playing, come sit in. Then you show up and there are 45 other people who they said the same thing to. So when playing on the internet came along, I couldn't wait to jump into that parallel lane, to create my own thing in the blue ocean, to write my own ticket and make my own rules. We chafe at gatekeepers. But, and here's the part where you're gonna hate me, we need them. Not only do we need them, they're inevitable. Today, 2 reasons why we need gatekeepers. It's okay, we already ran the theme music. So let's start by thinking about what we'd do if we eliminated all gatekeepers. Clean slate, pure utopian here.
Для сухопутных войск
No, not that kind of utopian. But imagine with me. Say we wanted to solve the gig scarcity problem. Everybody competing over just a few places to play, so it gets pretty Lord of the Flies in the ways I described, right? So say we want to solve that. Hey, let's just create a big online commons. Place where anybody can upload their music, and we'll give them a big virtual recital hall to play in. And let's just say a way to charge virtual admission to their gigs, like YouTube and Patreon combined. By the way, this might exist already, I have no idea. But versions of this exist that I do know about, and one of them is Skillshare. And that's not even music. Another one exists that's, let's just say, not for kids. Okay, so we have this platform. And now guess what happens? Thousands upon thousands of bands flood in. We've got bands and solo artists of every type. And pretty soon, audiences stop coming to the site. Why? Because we've got a chronological news feed. And you've come for jazz or rock, but the front page is klezmer and ukulele. And here's why that's a problem. We need money to run those servers. Guys, I promise I'll get back to the drum shop that didn't respond to my clinic email, all right? Anyway, people start bouncing off our beautiful Commons music virtual gig site because it's hard for them to find the music they want. And that's a problem because we're getting paid by taking a tiny percentage of transaction costs when the musicians charge admission to their live events or pre-recorded, paywalled music videos. That's also a problem because if the artists don't get paid, they're gonna ghost, and then there won't be any music anymore.
And I don't need any of this. I don't need this stuff.
So we come up with a fix. And I know the word is out there, it's right on the tip of my tongue. Oh, algorithm. Yeah, you see, we need to show fans music they'll like as soon as they log on to our utopian music commons. So they'll stay and pay the artists. So the artists will make money and we'll make money. And this whole music commons flywheel will keep churning. Now I'm gonna tell you why we need to gatekeep. Say our algorithm just learns you like polka, and then it shows you a random assortment of polka bands whenever you log in. Guys, I don't know how to break it to you, but remember how we didn't have any entrance criteria for joining our little utopia? No gatekeeping? Well, let's just say 15% of the world's polka bands are really good, like Billboard Top 10 good. But 85% are bad, just not good, not good. No, just bad. That's why it's not good enough for our algorithm just to show polka bands to polka fans. It needs to be good polka, because if it's bad, they're still gonna leave, even if it's polka. And now, just like that, we're like early YouTube. And let me tell you what happens next. Because as soon as you start applying an algorithm to a commons with a huge number of creators, you're gonna get winner-take-all effects. And what happens, tell me if this sounds familiar, is that 99% of the artists never get on the front page. And an extremely small percentage get all the views. If you think I'm kidding, that's what happened to Skillshare. That's increasingly what's happening to YouTube. And that's also what happened to that site that's not for kids. That's where a pure machine algorithm eventually leads. But what if we do a little manual curation? Shuffle the deck a little, add some randomness. Force the algorithm to make 80% of the artists they show on the homepage sure things, but 20% of them wild cards. Remember, 15% of the polka bands are theoretically good enough to keep a user on the site, but only 1% of them are getting any airtime. So we introduce that wild card to give the other 14% a chance to get discovered. YouTube did this for real, basically up until, 2020. Anyway, that's about the best you can do with an infinite venue space. Why? Because people don't want to listen to bad music any more than they want to watch boring videos. And you need their money to run your venue. But we should also care, as the owners of this utopian venue, that the music people hear when they come to the venue is good. Next, let's talk about why this isn't a bad thing. So that's still gatekeeping. But I want to make a distinction here between gatekeeping finite space and gatekeeping infinite space. Because in the former, you have to play a lot of politics and know the right people. In the latter, if the algorithm is good, all you have to do is be good and know your audience. Because the key to winning in the algorithm space is being good enough that if people click on your virtual gig or listen to your song, they'll come back. But that's also why you have to have that wildcard mechanism built into your algorithm. And I don't want to sound like a conspiracy theorist, but certain channels used to have more of that before a few certain world events happened. And now they appear to have less. So, am I arguing the drum shop was right to reject me? Of course! First of all, the question's irrelevant because they're gonna do what they do regardless of what we say about it. But secondly, you got a physical space and a finite number of days in the calendar. Of course you're gonna give your space to sure things. And luckily there's the internet, where theoretically, if you're good, you'll get found. And I'm not even too worried about any one channel. Succumbing to social pressure and deciding to batten down all the hatches and make a purely winner-take-all algorithm. Because that 14% of creators who are good, but not in the 1% getting all the views, will eventually get wise to the fact that some platforms are shutting them out, and they'll go somewhere else. Did I just talk myself into getting on TikTok? Anyway, I'm sure there are multiple angles to this I haven't explored, so if you have a comment, please leave it below. I guess if I had to sum this whole thing up, I would say gatekeepers are not only okay, they're necessary, because the choice between a curated and a non-curated ecosystem is a false choice. Because either you'll have an empty room where no audience is coming and bands can't make money so they leave, or you need to impose a hierarchy somehow so that audiences are guaranteed to see something good when they arrive. That's true even if you have infinite virtual ballroom space. But it's also why well-intentioned curators of physical venue spaces shouldn't take too much slack for prioritizing people they know are going to draw a crowd before unknowns. Especially since we now have the internet as an alternative, where if you're good and you're undeniable, you truly will get noticed, even if you need to try out a few different platforms before you hit on something. So dudes, that's the lesson. I hope you enjoyed it. Remember to check me out at the link below the player if you're interested in a 6 to 12 month course of study with me that'll take you from your intermediate level to an advanced level on the drums, all for around the price of a single lesson. And remember, if you click on the link below, there's no obligation to sign up for that course. You'll just hear when we're launching it. But you'll also get a free gift, my 3-video mini course, which will make you better in the next 3 weeks than you've gotten in the previous 6 months. Dudes, it's been real. Always enjoy these, especially the rants. See you again real soon in another lesson of the week.